there any better thing in the world than that right there? Look at that. I just love frog fishing. That's just like as good as it gets. I mean, you have the top water explosion, you have the winching him out of the grass. We're gonna talk a little frog fishing today, guys. It's gonna be a fun, fun day.
On the top of the mountain, yeah, we've heard our way to the top of the mountain. Yeah, we never coming down from the top of the mountain.
One of my most favorite things to do is frog fishing, but an adjustment that I like to make to my frogs that, man, I think Bobby Lane's the one that taught me this. Maybe it's Terry Scroggins, one of those Florida frog guys. You gotta shorten those legs just a little bit. See how long those are? And you just take that leg and you put it up to the eye, and then you cut it right there at the eye. And that's the right length to have your leg. No matter what frog you've got, you don't want those legs too long. And this really helps make that frog walk a little better. Another tip that you can do is make one a little bit longer than the other. And for whatever reason, that little bit of resistance, I also kind of like to cut them at an angle, makes it just a little bit easier to walk that frog when you just have one just a little bit longer and have it the perfect length. The length of the frog will really help walk that bait and help your hookup percentage. I missed it by a mile. I think he's on there and he just come off. Dadgummit. That's part of frog fishing. I did good. I waited. Like, it's so hard in frog fishing. You've got to wait for him to eat it. Like, you want to set the hook on the explosion. I waited for him to pull it down, but I still didn't get him. It's just part of it. Dang it, dang it, dang it, dang it. Oh. Well, I just broke one off. I think I had a pike and then I had a big bass. Broke it off and had to switch over to white. I had two frogs in the boat today. That seems like one of the cases when I'm frog fishing, like when you get a bite, I power pole down. Like, it just seems like when you find a little area of them, it's just like offshore fish. There'll be a pile of them. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 bites I've had here, not moving the boat. Golly, golly, oh my goodness. Oh, that hurts. That was full grown. So with the conditions I have today, you know, with this wind and the dirtier water, I'd really like a popping frog, but the problem is I don't like a popping frog when I'm in stems or grass or vegetation because it's always catching on that stuff. So I have to use a walking frog, yet I'm gonna walk it, kind of pop it on the water like a popping frog to make that noise. You know, so much of the time a frog's imitating like a bluegill or something, you know, splattering across the top, or even a frog, but you've got to make some noise to get their attention, you know, so they can find it underneath all that grass. There's just so much stuff going on. You've got to figure out noise. You got to make some sort of commotion on the top of the water, and that's why I'm walking that frog kind of quick but not moving it really far, and so far that's been getting me the bites. You know, everybody talks about walking a frog, you know, like getting it to go side to side. And that, to me, that's the technique that I would use in really clean water and calm water. You know, today I've got fairly dirty water and a little bit of wind and chop, and those conditions, I want a popping frog, unless I'm fishing stuff like this. You know, the popping frog is gonna catch those lily pads, those stems. So now I'm back to the walking frog because it's more weedless, yet I'm trying to pop it. I'm just trying to walk it, like make that nose keep hitting that water, making that popping noise to make that sound, to make that attraction, just because I've got the wind and a little bit dirtier water. You know, this new Savage frog's really awesome, this dual chamber frog. I lost my black one. And so many people get so wrapped up in colors, and you know, you really think about it, just the belly is what those fish see, and especially in dirty water like this. So I'm throwing black or I'm throwing white. The black they were eating up until I lost it. So now I'm just going to get this thing a little softer in the water by adding all these black speckles to the bottom of it. And we're gonna see if they eat that a little bit better. I'm like 0 for 4 here with fish. Oops, I messed up. It doesn't matter. Not getting it. So we're just gonna soften, tone this thing down with the old black Sharpie. Just put some speckles on the belly of it. I think that is Picasso-worthy artistry right there, guys, if that's such a word. A little wet on the sides, but that softens that thing up quite a bit. So we're gonna see if that makes a difference. When you got open water too, you know, where it's not overly bad, one thing I'll do is just open that hook up just a smidgen to help that hookup percentage. I mean, I'm talking like a 1/16. Now those hook points are pointing straight up. Or not straight up, but just a little bit more up, and that can help me hook those bass a little better. Oh, what a cool bite. What a cool bite. Yes! It doesn't get any better. It does not get any better. Man, that's not near as big as I thought he was gonna be. He had a monster explosion. All right, not a giant, but a frogfish. So one thing I always look for, like it's so hard to do, like, you know, you just got big, massive grass flats, let's say. Irregularities, and it can be anything. Like, you know, this makes a point. It's a very subtle point. That obviously is a point where that fish came from. You know, that's an irregularity. You know, the point of reeds there, it might be a hole, it might be a clump of tighter vegetation, just any kind of irregularity. Just don't make a cast random out there. Try to pick a target in the grass that you're fishing, because I just feel like you have to do that. I've seen so many times that when you pick up on just one little thing that's in that grass bed, that's what you can duplicate over and over and over throughout the day when you're frog fishing. You know, for me, when I'm frog fishing like this on a place I've never fished before, I'm gonna cover water, and I am just going to hit the high points. I'm gonna keep that trolling motor down. I'm looking for one bite. That's when I'll put the power poles down, just like we did back there. We had 4, 5, 6 bites, and now I'm gonna go. Like I fished slow all the way around it. I picked it apart, hadn't got any bites anywhere else. So I'm just gonna go and just make casts on those irregularities, on those points, on those key areas until I find another group of fish. Stay on there, fish. Man, I was going so fast towards him. Oh, that's so awesome. All right, come here, buddy. Oh, yeah. How awesome is that? Chunky bass, isn't that great? Irregularity, that's gonna be like the theme of today. Man, he's fat. Let this fish go. All right, buddy, thank you. Man, I kind of came on a long stretch there going really, really fast. And that's just the first major point that I've come to, you know, just trying to cover water. You know, we had a lot of bites on that one other major point over there, and then they've been pretty few and far between. Had a few pike bites, lost a bunch of frogs, but I just can't stress to you enough, like every bite's been on the outside edge too. Like in my mind, when I got here today and I saw the lake, I thought they're gonna be dirt shallow, like inches of water. For whatever reason, they're not. So I haven't wasted any time. I'm fishing that outside 10-foot section of these lily pads. I'm not wasting any time throwing back in there. Like I'm gonna say every once in a while I will, just to keep them honest, but I'm just trying to keep my bait where I think they're at, you know, to maximize my time. I did so good there, I didn't jerk. It was like the first time I didn't jerk. I'm like patting myself on the back. Golly! Oh my goodness. Look what I got. Oh, that just makes my heart sing. That is a good one, isn't it? Good night. That's a behemoth. Golly. You can't even see my frog. Oh, come here, girl. Oh, gosh. Yes! Look at that big old toad. Yes, 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 yes. How awesome is that? Sweet! What a fish. Yes. Check her out. Man, one thing I've noticed today, like these fish, like they're in that last green. Let me let this fish go and I want to talk to you what I'm talking about. What a fish. So what I've noticed, you know, a lot of things happen in the fall. This vegetation's starting to die. I can see lots of brown, lots of stuff going on back here. The last little bit of green is that outside edge. You know, the bites have all been on that outside edge. One could be the wind, could be deeper. I also think the last little bit of green vegetation could be a big reason why they're out there. So I gotta make another cast. You know, one thing that I think a lot of beginning anglers, when they're working a frog or, you know, even a topwater, they're moving it too much. And I think what causes them to move it too much, they got their line too tight. You know, I'm popping that thing on slack line. So that makes it pop, but almost stay in the same area. And I'm doing it really quick to do a lot of pops in a short amount of time. So the biggest key that I can tell you to figure that out, how to do that, is to do it on slack line. Don't have your line completely tight, because it's gonna really move that frog, you know, 6, 8, 10 inches instead of moving it a couple of inches, you know, each pop. When frog fishing, you need to figure out the cadence, the speed, the pause. And what I mean by that is, there are days that they want that frog really quick, like today, like I'm making a lot of noise, making a lot of commotion. But then there's days that, man, they want it slow. They want a big, long pause in there. Experiment with that until you get those first couple bites, because it can make or break you. And sometimes it's as fast as you can work it. Sometimes you got to be deathly slow. Those are the days that I struggle the most, because I don't very rarely go very slow, just because I'm always trying to find fish. But try to figure that out, you know, fairly quick in your day so you can duplicate it as many times as possible. Cool. Yes. I don't know if that's the same one or not, but we got that one. Oh, I don't think that's the same one. Man, that's fun. Golly, I love it. I love it. I just love it. That's not the same fish. There's no way. No way. It's the best thing there is in fishing, is top water frog fishing. Oh, I love it. And it's this time of year. I love doing it in the fall. They get shallow. I think there gets to be more of them up there. You know, that grass dying up there seems like it's got them focused. I feel like if we were here 3 or 4 weeks ago, you've got all that matted stuff, the cheese up there, like where you would normally fish. I feel like it's all dying. There's no oxygen up there. I feel like it's got those fish pulled to that outside edge, so it's made it even better. Golly, I got me another one. It's full grown. It's full grown. Yes, get in the boat. Yes, look at that sucker, would you? What a fish. God, that's a pretty one. Just chunky, full of meat. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, fish. Thank you, thank you. What a fish. All right, let's talk about our setup here, because it's so important in frog fishing. You know, my setup is a 7.3 medium heavy carbon light rod, a high speed reel. I've got 65 pound braid, this Bass Pro braid, because man, it's combat. Like, man, you get snagged. I want to go with bigger braid. Got a walking frog on here. Colors, when you talk about colors, you know, I don't get real wrapped up in colors unless it's super clear. You know, we got fairly dirty water here. Black, white, you know, white with brown or a brown color. Those are my favorite colors to throw. I don't think it really matters that much for me. I kind of rotate through those. You know, if I notice they're boiling on it, not getting it, I'll make some adjustments to that color. But that's really all I carry with me when I'm choosing colors. I gotta catch another one. That'll flat wear you out trying to get those things in from that far back. Golly, he got it too. Look at that. I mean, I got both hooks. That's the beauty of frog fishing. I feel like, you know, even though there's so much vegetation and so many things to lose that fish with having 2 hooks, you know, your land percentage is really, really awesome, I think, with that bait. Thanks, buddy. We're kind of figuring out. Okay, so another thing to think about. I feel like frog fishing pretty much year round, and especially this time of the year, you know, late summer, early fall, we're well into fall. Later in the day, you know, sunny conditions, the afternoon, you know, everybody thinks topwater fishing, clouds, you know, that's not the case. I want bright sun. One, they're able to see that bait against the sky. You know, they've got a lot to compete with to see it, looking up through the grass, the vegetation, the mats, the lily pads. 2, the heat, like that heat, you know, it's warming up, and that gets those fish to bite. And I feel like last couple bites, they've kind of slid up a little shallower in there, and it may be a warmth thing, maybe a protection thing. I'm not really sure yet, but I do know I'm gonna throw back in there again. Come here, you big old girl. Come here, come here, come here. Oh, golly. Man, that's important. Like when you get them down in that stuff, I just keep them coming. Just keep pressure on them. I love it when their eyeballs get covered with grass like that, because they just almost quit fighting and you don't even know what you got. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, that's pretty awesome right there. That's pretty awesome. I'm gonna jump. You know, it all looks the same up there, but it's so imperative. When you get a bite, make that exact cast again. You know, it could just be a rock, there could be a log. I've been up in these fields before, and there'll be a log, and you'll have 4 or 5 bass hanging around that one log. You know, you can't see it because the lily pads or whatever it is, but be sure when you catch one, make that same cast again. Go, 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 go. It just doesn't get any better. Golly, I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. Get in here. Guys, that is frog fishing, man, 101. I love it. I just love it. I mean, because that happens right there. Man, that's fun. I don't care what size they are. It's just a big old topwater blow up. Oh, let me let this fish go. I hope you enjoyed the episode, guys. Frog fishing, there's nothing better. It's just one of the greatest things on the planet. Be sure to hit that like button, man. Subscribe if you're not. Tell somebody about my channel. Hope you enjoyed the episode, guys. We'll be doing it all over again next week right here on Project E.